The scheduled part or? It's funny how my right. It's funny how my right arm is
That's how it always goes.
more
Toned.
toned than my left.
There we go.
All right, guys. So, are we live?
Let's go,
Can you
let's
guys
go.
see us? Can you guys hear us? Yes. Oh, there you guys
There
are.
we go.
Hello, hello. Blessings, Isabel.
Awesome.
Hi, guys. Oh my gosh, they're
There
popping
we
up.
go.
Sending hugs. So happy for you guys.
Thank you.
Hello. Mexico.
Shout out from North Cali. Let's go.
Waiting for
From New
this
Mexico.
episode. Yes, yes.
Sorry, we ended up having to do this one a little bit earlier, you guys. So long story short, my mom, she ended up getting last minute surgery. Unexpected, but she's good. It wasn't anything serious, anything life threatening. So she just got out of the surgery room. My sister is over there with her, so we're just gonna knock this out and then head over there. My mom's still resting a little bit, so we're like, let's just get this. Let's just stay committed. Let's follow through, and we're gonna go see my mom right now in a little bit, right after this.
Yeah, so that's the reason why we started earlier, guys. So we're just trying to make the best of it. You guys' outfits are so cute. Thank you,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. Wow, look at all of you guys.
Awesome.
Oh, Mila loves reading your guys' comments.
Yeah.
She gets so happy to see
All right,
all of
well,
you guys.
you wanna get this started?
Yeah, all right, guys. So let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of
Breakthrough conversations.
today we have a special guest. So as you guys can see, we have our beautiful daughter Mila. Today was short day for her, and we've had her with us since we picked her up, and she's been so excited to do the live, right,
Yeah.
Mila?
She even got new shoes for the live stream.
She wanted to be matching her whole pink outfit, guys. So, yeah, we're excited to have Mila here. And for those of you guys that are new to the channel or just jumping in our lives, we're gonna have you guys hear a little bit of Mila, who she is. She's our daughter, by the way. But I'm gonna pass the mic over to Mila.
Tell us a little bit about who you are, princess.
Hi, my name is Mila. This is my mom. This is my dad. And my favorite color is pink.
We can tell.
All shades of pink, huh, princess?
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yes.
Yeah, you've been all excited the entire day, huh? Yeah. What are you most excited about?
Probably the questions.
The questions? Okay, awesome. So we are going to be getting this started. You want to ask the first question?
Yeah, like let's see, look at everybody saying hi, Mila. How old is Mila? So, you want to tell them how old you are, or did she say it?
Yeah, she
I
did.
think she.
You did say it, right, mommy?
I'm 8 years old.
Yeah. So Mila's 8 years old, guys. And let's see, how old is Mila?
She's like, okay, future talk show host. For real.
Love those pink shows. Yes. All right, guys. So, I'm gonna grab my phone here. Princess, hold this. Okay, so
Somebody say, hi, Mila, you're such a sweet girl. Always stay that way. So glad you guys are doing this. God has big plans for your family. Thank you. Appreciate you, Mandy. What are 8 years old into these days?
Okay, here, give me this. All right, guys. So just a little backstory before we get started, because some of these questions are they're obviously because we know her. But those of you guys that don't know, Mila is 8 years old. She is our first one, and then we do have Aiden, who's 2 years old. So she's a big sister, and she is going to school, and she is in a German school, so it's English and German. Obviously, she speaks Spanish. We speak Spanish to her. So right now she speaks 3 languages: English, Spanish, and German. So some of the questions that we bring up are because, like I mentioned, she is going to German school. So she's a multi-bilingual speaker. And she's currently wanting to learn sign language. Right, Princess?
Yes, I've been learning sign language probably since yesterday.
Or last week.
Last week.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I just wanted to run that down just so you guys can get a little insight of who Mila is.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm over here, you guys, on my phone because I ordered some stuff for my sister.
It's getting dropped off.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys are doing.
The very bottom one.
What does it say?
Second bottom.
Mila, are you allowed to?
Don't even point it down.
Daddy's being overprotective over here. She's like, am I?
I'll tell you like 50, Mila.
Okay. Ooh, there's a lot of good questions, Mila. One of the good ones is.
Well, let's start off like this. I think because it's something that always kind of pops up. You know what I mean? Like, how does obviously you've kind of been through the whole process, right? You've been through the whole process of like from where we were before to where we're at now. Like, how has that transition been for you? Does that make sense?
If you don't understand the question, Princess, you can ask Daddy again. Okay? You're nervous, huh, Mommy?
Okay, let's start with something more simple.
Yeah,
it's okay.
She's getting.
Something
I think we need to
simple.
ease her in.
Yeah. Well, let's do a simple one. So how do you feel now, Mila, that you have a little brother?
I feel
You can hold him in
happy because all the time he gets to play with me, and so that way I don't have to like play alone, and I like playing with him a lot on the trampoline and jumping with him.
How was it like at first when you first found out that you're gonna have a baby brother?
I felt really excited because I knew I had someone to play with.
And you wanted actually a brother, huh?
Yeah,
or a sister. She was like, I want a baby. Now he steals your toys.
I know. And she still even says, I want another sibling. I'm like, we are done. No more. But she loves kids, you guys. She is a nurturing, loving child. And whenever she does have little kids around her that are like babies, a little bit younger than her, she like her little mommy instincts kick in. She's always wanting to like protect them, play with them, color with them. So
yeah, I think Mila's an amazing
kids.
leader. Like she's always stepping up for everybody,
absolutely.
And just leading the way, like all the little kids. As soon as she meets up with them, like at the end of that playtime, they're all following her. She's the one leading, so it's super amazing. I'm proud of you.
Like Alexa said, sign language is awesome. My brother is deaf, and sign language is important. Oh, I love that. So Alexis, you must be able to speak sign language as well, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Christian.
What's your next question?
Okay, Mila. So obviously, you guys, when we had Mila, at the time, we didn't have the income we had. We didn't have the opportunities we have now. So she didn't really get to travel as much, right? We would do like little road trips here and there, obviously always in California. But now she's had the chance to like travel outside of the US. She went to Paris. For those of you guys that don't know, she went to Paris almost a year ago. Mm-hmm. Wow, that was fast.
Time flew.
So she went to Paris, she went to Greece, Athens,
Rome,
Santorini. Yeah, I said Greece. Oh, yeah, so Jose took her like on this trip for like almost a whole week. Mm-hmm. And then ever since then, he unleashed a little beast.
A little travel monster.
Yeah, so now she loves to travel. For her birthday, we asked her, Mila, what do you want for your birthday? And she said...
She's not paying attention. She's reading the comments.
She's reading the comments.
To Mama. We'll read the comments.
Because I'm about to ask you questions, girl.
You gotta know.
So she's been loving to travel. And for her birthday, we asked her, Mila, what do you want for your birthday? She didn't want to party. She said, I want to go to Hawaii. So those are her things, right? Like she rather have an experience than to have like a party or anything like that. So, Mila, how do you feel traveling has expanded? I'm trying to use easy words for her.
Oh, she's intelligent.
I know, but like not okay. So, how do you think traveling has made you more aware or to learn like about
Different
cultures,
cultures.
different cultures? What do you like about traveling?
I like to see like different places, and I like to try their foods, and they're really good. Especially in Paris, their crepes are amazing.
Grapes.
They're crepes.
Crepes.
Oh, the crepes.
They're really good, and um, my favorite part is probably Greece because I got to swim in the pool, and I was playing in there with my tia Mache, and we were playing, and my dad was the shark, and she was the lifeguard, and she was trying to help me get off the shark.
What's like one of like your most memorable experience about traveling?
Probably the I think the time where we went to Hawaii, and me and Aiden got to see the view, and we got to go in the pool. It was fun.
Something in memory with you and your brother?
hmm
Yeah. That's awesome. What has been your favorite like food that you've had?
Probably in Hawaii, I think I like their crepes as well because they're really good. I like all of the crepes and their, because last time we went to like my favorite was probably it was
I gotta see that, mommy. Don't twist it.
it was kind of like this coffee place, and their crepes were really good because it had strawberries inside it, and
She's a foodie. Like that's her thing. Anywhere, yeah, anywhere we go, she's always about the food. That's like her thing.
that's it.
That's it. Okay. And Daddy, you want to ask the other question?
Yeah, I would say. So, I want- like, I think you and I always, like us, we always have conversations with you, right? And I think we think you're an amazing little girl, right? We're super proud of you. Um, but how do you feel like we're doing as parents with you? Like, do we give you enough time? How do you feel when we're working? Like all that stuff.
I feel happy.
Feel happy? Yeah. Why?
Mm, I'm not sure.
You just don't want to say it. You want to cry? You feel happy? Yeah. Why do you feel happy? That's okay. You can speak.
Okay, so how do you feel that mommy and daddy work? How do you feel when we're spending time away from you to work? Do you understand why mommy and daddy have to work?
Yeah. Because whenever you tell me, you always you always
You're gonna make me cry. I'm like, what is it? Is it a bad thing? What is it,
Reina
baby?
hermosa.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. What is it, baby?
just happy.
Oh, you're just happy? She's a very emotional little girl, guys. She's
Very caring. I
she's
think
very caring for sure.
I think it's a powerful like question to ask because I think like for me and obviously for Anita too as well, it's like whenever we work, sometimes we do work long hours or I'm on a flight or on a trip for like 2 3 days, etc. But like we always prioritize like like talking to them and always tell them like, hey, we're gonna go work, but as soon as I get back, we're gonna spend time together. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go here. We're gonna do all these things and then just really spend quality time with them. So it's important, you know what I mean? Because I think for me, it's also kind of healing too because, like I feel it a lot, you know what I mean? Like I always feel like, damn, am I doing enough? Am I spending enough time with the kids? Like, is this even worth it and stuff like that? So just kind of hearing her and her perspective, I think it's, super powerful and it gives me kind of peace of mind. You know what I mean? Because life is never going to be perfect. There's always going to be ups and downs and, moments where you have to prioritize some things a little bit more during specific moments, but always with the understanding of knowing exactly who you do it for and why you do it.
Exactly.
And it's powerful that she understands it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Like Nessa put, she is emotionally intelligent. That's what she is. Thank you guys.
She really is.
Yeah, she's so smart. She's a very smart little girl, and we were just having a talk with her earlier. We grabbed some lunch together, and we were having a conversation with her. I think as parents, we face all these challenges as they grow, because obviously, we don't have control of what they see, who they're surrounded with at school, and not every parent is really attentive, or sometimes work, because I understand the circumstances, like both parents have to work sometimes, and so they don't have the time to really
invest
into their kids. So a lot of kids out there are doing whatever it is that they're on TikTok, they're on watching things they shouldn't be watching, they're consuming things that are not appropriate for their age. So we were having a conversation with her earlier, and I was telling her, there's certain things that I don't allow her to see. I don't allow her to have like a TikTok, like for, there's so many reasons why, but we were having this conversation with her because I was like, this is something us parents are facing. Our kids are trying to grow up a lot faster than what they should be. So it's really hard trying to still, be a cool parent, but still trying to like have guiding them exactly. And then so it's really important that you communicate that with them. So earlier I was, we were having lunch together, and she also cried too because she's very emotional, and so I think
she really understands that.
She understands.
When we talk to her, it's like it's coming from a place of love and a place of care.
Absolutely.
Because like whenever we do talk to her, it's like she doesn't get mad. She's like I understand. I
Exactly.
think she understands that we're doing that. We always make sure that we communicate effectively, and it's not just like, hey, no, you can't do that.
Right.
And I think most parents, that's all they do. So the kids just kind of feel like, oh well, my parents are just mean or strict.
Exactly.
And for us, it's like,
this
we'll
is
explain why. Even though maybe she might not grasp it to the entirety, or maybe if you have children and you think like, oh well, if I thoroughly explain it, they're still not gonna understand. Like kids understand, they understand, more than we think sometimes. So instead of like talking down to them, talk to them as like, as how you would an adult, and compound it over time. They're gonna be aware. They're gonna be intelligent enough to understand that like, hey, I understand why my parents are doing this. They're not doing it for malicious reasons or just to be mean. Like there's a real risk
reason
out there
and
the real reason, and I'm understanding, and she really like she really understands. You know what I mean?
So the reason why she cried is throughout the whole conversation she was like, okay, like I get it, and I explained to her, and I'm like, this is why, but at the end I told her the reason why I'm this way or set all these like rules is because I love you so much, and I'm just trying to protect you. As much, if I can protect you from these things right now, like I will do it. I'm going to do everything in my power to protect you because I love you and I don't want anything to happen to you. And I want to protect your peace and your mind as much as I can. For as long as we can. And so that kind of broke her down, 'cause she's like, oh, and when I asked her, I'm like, but why are you crying, Mom? And she's like, because you love me so much, you know. So the fact that she understands that, and she's crying not because she's not allowed to have that stuff, but because she understands the real reason of why she's not allowed to do that, and it's because we love her, and she gets that, man. Like, that was, whew, I was like, wow, this little girl is super intelligent. Like, she understands where we're coming from, and instead of seeing it like, oh, my mom's so mean, my mom is this, my mom's that, you know, she understands that we love her so much, and we're just literally trying to do anything we can to protect her.
Yeah. And it's interesting because Anita and I are always like sending each other like videos about parenting or just different perspectives on parenting. And one of the ones that I sent her earlier today was one where, you know, it talks about how the like parenting is one thing, right? But the things that are going to impact your children the most are going to be their environment and the people that you allow around them, right? Because your environment, their environment, and the friends and the people that they're exposed to, whether it's in school or the communities that you live in, or you know what activities you have them doing, is going to create an even, probably even a greater impact than you as a parent. You know what I mean? Because there's a different forms of relationship and a different form of like connection through certain people. And you know, for us, it's like, hey, you know, we know that in some shape or form you're going to be exposed to maybe the wrong environment, the wrong friendships. There's always bad apples in
Anywhere,
you know, in any culture, in any community, etc., right? But we always try to tell her, like, it's up to you to make these decisions. Like, if people tell you, hey, we should do this, or hey, you should do that, like, you should have the confidence enough in yourself to know whether that's a good or right decision. And if it's not something that you want to do, you should feel confident enough to say no, you know. And I think these are the characteristics that a lot of times we don't instill in our children, because it's like, hey, you're not going to do that, no to this, you're not going to go with friends, you're not going to do this. But we don't take the time to tell them, hey, I trust you, like, I want you to go and live life and experience things, and I know that I can't, you know, protect you or control you. I just want you to know that you have the power to make the right decisions. Like, you know, we're trying to teach you the right things, and you know, it's ultimately, it's going to be up to you. We can only protect you so much, but let's give you the skill sets that you need in order for you to be able to make conscious decisions, and decisions that you really want to make, you know. Because a lot of the times I think people kind of fall into the trap of, like, you know, getting peer pressure by their friends because they're scared of being called names or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, there's consequences to every action. And if she's confident enough to say, hey, no, and I'm okay with you guys not wanting to be around me because I'm saying no, like, I'm going to stand, you know, firm. I'm going to stand in what I truly believe in, and it doesn't matter if you don't want to be around me, then that's fine, you know. So that's kind of the style and the approach of parenting that we're taking with, you know, with Mila, and obviously with Aiden too as well, when he gets a little bit older.
Yeah. So that was a really powerful message. But even the video you sent me earlier was really good, because I think, you know, as parents, when you have multiple kids, we, you know, it's a lot to handle, and it's hard to take everybody's feelings into consideration. But the video he sent me, I actually shared it on my stories. I don't know if you guys follow us on Instagram, but if you guys follow me on Instagram, I shared it on my stories. And man, it was just so powerful, because, you know, he talks about how a therapist, right? A therapist once said that there was two kids. I forgot how he.
So basically, the storyline is like, I think I could probably show it on the
live video.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to show it, or?
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Because I honestly feel like if you're a parent, or if you have, if you know, you have a baby on the way, or you do plan on having kids in the future, it's so important to just be aware and consume as much information as you can to help you, you know, not be the perfect parent, but at least help you become the best parent you can be. So if Jose can share it, we'll try to share it on there for you guys, so you guys can see it. But it hit me, you know, and I feel like every I love to read anything that has to do with like parenting, or just anything with kids, because, you know, we have our kids, and it's nice to see how we can evolve and improve. We're always improving and stuff. So
yeah, you can keep talking, and then I'll get
I want to read some comments too. It says, oh, look, Marlene, Is it Marlene? I'm sorry, guys. I can't, like, the comments are far away, so I'm kind of squinting. But if I don't get your name right, I'm sorry. Marlene Ortiz. We love you, Mila. See, baby? Aw, they love you so much. I agree. She's probably the happiest she's been now, having both parents work out and work for their family. Absolutely. She's a very smart little girl. Yes, she is, Jasmine. You saying everything I'm thinking with today's kids now. You're so right. Yeah, it's a crazy world we're living in. I think kids are trying to grow up so fast, and it's hard because, that's what they're going to school and seeing their friends and everybody around them. But like Jose was saying, it's our job to help them, guide them, and give them the right tools for them to, be smart. And I always tell Mila, like, the right time will come when you can wear makeup, when you can have a cell phone, when you can have TikTok, when you can wear nails, when you can do all this stuff. Like right now, focus on, being, feeding your brain, being a smart little girl, so that when you get older, you're not just beautiful on the outside, but you have a brain, most importantly. We want her to be smart, to be successful, to be independent, to bring a lot to the table, not just looks. So yeah, it's very hard. And I think, as kids get older, it gets harder. And you never stop worrying, obviously, but man, I'm like, I have a lot of friends who
I can't show it because it would have to make me restart it.
Log you out?
No, just restart it.
Okay. Can they see that though?
I don't know. Can you guys see the screen right now or no?
Can you guys see that we're sharing something on the screen?
I don't think so.
Anita and Jose, what grade is Mila in? Mila, what grade are you in, baby?
Third grade.
Third grade. You just started third grade, right?
Yeah. But anyways, what I'll do, yeah, they can't see it. So probably what I'll do is I'll just play the audio so you guys can kind of hear it. But it basically says this. Hold on.
One session said that, well, I know two children that came from the same environment, and if environment is everything, one turned out to be a gangster, the other a minister. If environment is everything, how do you get those differences? The minute you pick up one child and start playing with it, and the other stands there with that lip out, you're making jealousy and envy. There's no such thing as the same environment. So when I pick up my little girl, I pick up my older little boy. You never work with one child. Why can't you keep your area clean? Your brother does all the time. You leave all your things around. Well, when he trips and falls down the stairs, his brother smiles. An inhibited smile, of course, but he does smile. So we build these artificialities in the world we live in today. Psychologist in one session said
That was fire.
So powerful.
So basically, like, the whole message of it is like, for a lot, and it makes so much sense. So when I heard it, I was like, dang, like, that's powerful, right? Because it's one of the things that I struggle with the most, because obviously Aiden is a little bit more needy. He's still a baby, so he doesn't understand. Like, he's just running around doing his thing. So we got to take, more precaution with him. But then also, too, it's like, I don't ever want Mila to feel like she's left out or none of that. You know what I mean? So it's important. And when I heard that message, I was like, that makes so much sense. You know what I mean? And that's always something that, even before Aiden was born, I would always tell Anita, like, oh man, like, I don't know if I want to have another child, because like, I don't ever want Mila to, I love her so much, I don't ever want her to feel like she's being neglected, or that we're prioritizing the baby or stuff like that, but it's one of those things where it's like, it's hard to give equal love to both of them without trying to make the other one feel like, hey, my dad or my mom are not giving me that attention, or hey, this and that, like, obviously now, even with like Mila, like with Aiden, I can carry him easy, you know what I mean? He's still a baby, but Mila's heavy now, so it's like carrying her, it's like,
it's a whole another level,
completely different.
Literally.
Ballgame, she's, Daddy, he's like, do that same to me. I'm like, Mama, like, you're so much heavier
like
now.
Throwing Aiden up in the air. He's like, my turn. He's like,
Oh, Mila.
But then another thing in that video, it's another part of powerful. It's another powerful message when he's saying how sometimes we compare our kids, like, you get into it because we're so accustomed to that as well. We're like, oh, look, your brother, does this and you don't do that. you know, all that, like all of that, and that really affects the other child, you know, because it's like, oh, you know,
Because that's
like
comparison.
But I think it's so common in our culture, you know, where we tend to do that,
Yeah.
and we don't do
Mira, tu
it.
primo hace esto.
Mira tu primo no es así, tu primo hace esto, you know. We grew up with that, right? We
Yeah.
grew up with our parents always comparing us, and I think their intention is to kind of like motivate us, or to be like, okay, I want to be like him. But in reality, it's knocking down
I think they do it in a way where it's like, I want to get you to do something, right? So here's an example.
like an
But in
example.
reality,
There you go.
it's like, it's just making you feel like
You're not
unworthy.
good enough.
Yeah, exactly. You know what
You're
I mean?
unworthy, yeah. And so then that's when you start, you know, choosing all these routes, or you know, you can either one, level up to what they want you to be, or two, like Jose, make you feel unworthy, knock your self-esteem down. And that's when you start, you know, leaning towards either drugs, you know, the streets, where you feel validated. Yeah. So one of the things is, like, you know, learning to not compare them, because it can cause them emotional distress later on in life, you know. So I think that was really powerful, and always trying to be aware of, because kids are so smart, you guys. We think, oh, está chiquito, no sabe, no se va a acordar. No, kids pick up on things so quick. They're like sponges. So the minute you pick up one child and he's looking, you're already making him feel like, do I not matter? You know, am I doing something wrong?
It's actually the opposite if you really think about it, because like we always say, like when you get older, it's a lot harder for you to learn things. But as a kid, that's when you pick up things, you know. So I think in anything that you do in parenting, like realize like, hey, you know, my son or my daughter is gonna be able to be adapt or to evolve to this in a faster time. I mean, look at perfect example. If you look at the kids in TJ, the ones that are at the border, you know, selling chicles or stuff like that, they're most of the time by themselves, but they adapted to their circumstances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those are kind of like the perspective you gotta have. It's
Absolutely.
like, have these conversations with them, be vulnerable with them, say, hey, you know, right now we're going through this or this and that. One of the things that I've prioritized recently is like, whenever Mila wants a trip or they want something, it's always like, hey, mama, like, here's so much it costs. Here's what this, here's what's that, right? Because, you know, I told her when we went to Europe, I was like, mama, do you know how much Europe? Because for her, it's just easy to say, oh, Dad, I want to go to Paris again. Dad, I want to go to Hawaii. Or for Christmas, let's go to New York, you know? And it happens, but she doesn't have like the perspective of what it actually takes, you know what I mean? To make these things happen. So should we get back to the questions here?
Yeah, so we'll get back into the questions, but we just wanted to incorporate all this just because, you know, I think it's important if you're, like I said, if you're a parent that's watching, and, you know, there's always room for growth. There's always room to learn. And even us, you know, even reading that message today, I was like, oh my God, you know, because sometimes I do get in the habit of like telling Aiden like, oh, your sister does this, you know, but I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I got to stop doing that. And it's not because I'm trying to compare them, or
it's just your natural way of trying to prove a message.
Yes, exactly. So now I'm a lot more aware where I'm gonna catch myself if I'm ever trying to do that. But I just thought it was important to bring that up, and it kind of does tie down, you know, to the whole parenting and stuff. But let's get back to the questions, you guys.
You want to finish that question, Mila?
Oh yeah.
From earlier. What was the question from earlier, Brett?
Let me see. I kind of forgot what I asked her.
How do you feel about daddy and mommy?
Oh, working.
Like parent working.
Yeah, how do you feel that mommy has to work and daddy? Ten mi amor. Do you like that mommy and daddy work?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why?
Because I get to play with Aiden.
What else?
Agárralo bien, corazón.
What do I always tell you? What does mommy always tell you why mommy and daddy have to work? So that we can have money to do what?
To
Mama. Come on, focus.
Come on, baby. You got
Sit up straight, corazón. And grab the mic. Or you can answer in a different format.
Yeah, you can.
Like, do you feel like daddy and mommy are doing a good job at, like, parenting and working and all that?
Huh? Come on, baby, you got this. You being shy?
It's okay.
It's okay.
I like your shoes, Mila. Look how they glitter on the TV.
You got this, my girl. You got this, baby. You're a big girl. Come on. It's a lot of pressure. You feel like this is too many questions for you?
Yeah.
She's just so emotional
Yeah,
right now.
you got this, mama.
You got it, princess. We always have conversations like this, and you're so good at them.
All right, let's ask her another question, then we'll get back to that one.
I think she was really nervous.
She was excited.
She was excited, but she was like, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous.
But honestly, I don't think it's that. Like,
what do you think it is?
I think it's just like
overwhelmed.
I think Mila's full of love. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think for her, naturally, it just comes out. So like as she's trying to communicate it, it's like she gets this like, because you're like, you know how I am. Like I don't like, how would you say it? Like I feel like lately I'm not like an emotional person. You know what I mean? I just take things for what they are and then move forward. But like right now, what she was saying, like what she was about to say, like I started getting emotional. And
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
damn.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Mila's more of like showing her emotions. Like she does things. That's her love language. She will have things ready for you. If you're feeling sick, she's the type of girl that's gonna go run, make you a tea, and bring you. She feeds you. She's just nurturing and caring. So for her to like express herself, she's like, I don't know how to express myself. I just want to do it, because it's easier for her. But look, Mila, everybody's rooting for you. Team Mila, you're so good. It's okay, Mila. It's okay. See, everybody's like, it's okay to be nervous. Team Mila. Do you guys like soccer? Jose does. He used to play soccer.
That's my thing. She does have a really big heart.
She does. She loves animals. One of her goals is to buy a big house with kind of like a ranch, a farm, and just rescue animals and have animals to take care of. She's always watching on YouTube. This guy, his name
What's his name, Mila?
What's his name, Mila? The guy that.
Girl.
What is it?
There's this girl too.
Yeah, his sister.
Her name's Hannah Fetter.
Okay, look. You tell the jammers. What's her name?
Her name's Hannah.
And then what does she do?
She rescues animals like kittens and birds.
Why do you like that?
Because I like animals.
You like to save animals, huh? Yeah, so that's how I know. When it's funny because like backstory, when Mila was probably like 2 years old, I remember we were in the room and we were watching a show, and there was like on Elmo, there was like a scene where there was a little kitten, and he was in the middle of the ocean by himself, like in a piece of wood, and he was like shivering and crying. And Mila was only 2 years old, and I remember she was sitting there watching that little part, and she just starts, empezó a hacer sus pucheritos, like, like this, and I'm like, what's wrong, mommy? She's like, gatito, miedo, tiene miedo. And I'm like, oh, like, that just broke my heart. I was like, baby, it's okay. Like, they're gonna go rescue him, and she just was bawling con tanto sentimiento. And I was like, damn, that's how I knew. I was like, she's gonna love animals. I'm surprised she hasn't brought me any stray cats to the house.
Well, she does have her brother, so that's already like a big responsibility. She's always looking out for him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you think it's what's the next place you would want to go visit, Mila? Grab the mic, mi amor.
What place?
Probably.
Speak into here, baby.
Probably New York.
New York.
Why? Why do you want to visit New York? Tell the jammers why.
I just want to go see, like, experience the whole thing.
Like
The food.
I was about to say that.
I was thinking
We gotta
she
go
was
try
gonna-
Prince Street in New York, Mila.
Oh yeah, Prince Street Pizza. But I honestly, because she loves Christmas, I was thinking, oh, maybe because the ice skating rinks, because of
And
the
it snows.
and it snows. Yeah, Mila loves the snow. So yeah, New York is on her little bucket list.
Yeah, we might make it in December.
Yeah, so she's every time Jose travels, she's always like, "Where's?" He was just in Vegas last week, right?
Yeah, last week. Yeah.
And she goes, I want to go to Vegas too. Can I go with Dad? She's
Yeah.
like, I've never been to Vegas. I'm like, baby, there's nothing to do
So
out there.
you
in
know, it's
Vegas."
funny that you say that because yeah. So the client that I went with out there, she was basically saying that in Christmas time, like Vegas is probably one of the most beautiful cities to visit because they like
What?
decorate the heck out of it. So it's like very
Oh.
family oriented. I was like, I would have never thought that
Never.
Vegas during Christmas time was like a spot to go. So I mean, that's something
Yeah.
that it's a short flight for us, you know,
Uh-huh.
to go there. So
Like Mila, Jessica said, if can you give her a shout out, please? Can you give her a shout out to Jessica? Can you say, hi Jessica, shout out to you, love you.
Hi, Jessica. Shout out to you. Love you.
Good job, baby. Look, somebody's asking, what concert would you like to go to? Who would you like to go see in their concerts?
Oh, that's a great question.
Karol G.
Karol G. She loves Karol G, you guys. She loves her. She's always looking at her videos. She's like, oh, she's so beautiful, mommy. I love her music.
What do you like? What do you like about Karol G?
I like her music.
Yeah,
And then what else?
Mm.
She loves her hair.
you love her hair, like her style.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't love Karol G? She's beautiful. Can I have my shout out, Jam Fam? Stephanie, shout out to you.
Shout out to you.
Oh, look.
Someone said, Mila, come to Colorado. It snows here.
Nice. Oh. Let's see what else.
Anything that has to do with travel, Mila's there.
Mila's there. She loves food. Every time we go out to eat at restaurants, the food comes and she already starts dancing. She's like, and then she takes her first bite and she's like,
Yeah, look at her.
Look at her. Look at her. You love
There's a
food.
pizza spot. So I went to New York a couple years ago, or the first time that I ever went with a client, and I tried this pizza called Prince Street. And ever since then, I was like, damn, I want to go back to New York just to, you know, to take my family and to experience it all together, right? And then this one time we were walking right here, right? We were walking right here in downtown, and they opened up a Prince Street like a block away from my place. And then I was like, oh, we gotta try it. So we had it, and ever since then, like, we just
The best
Yeah.
pizza, you guys. Like,
The pepperoni and the cheese is really good, and I like the bread.
it's all fire.
look how passionate she gets about talking about food. She's like, don't ask me all those serious questions. Talk to me about food. Talk to me about bunnies and animals. And we got a whole show going, huh, princess? Somebody earlier asked if you can say something in German. Can you tell them, like, hi, how are you? Or hi.
Guten Morgen.
What does that mean?
Good morning.
Oh, nice. You want to say another word or a sentence?
Well, sing that song that you were singing the other day.
Which one?
The one that I showed you with you and your teacher.
Oh, when you had the singing class.
That one?
Mhm.
Wir fangen jetzt an. Wir fangen jetzt an. Wir hören zusammen, verfehlt man uns an. So, ja.
Speak a little bit louder.
Hmm.
Wow.
And what does that song say?
Basically, it says like we're starting music class, and then we just do like a little handshake.
Oh, okay.
That's so cool.
I don't know what else to ask her because
Because all the questions that we wanted to ask her are just gonna, you know. Can we ask you again, Mila? Like, who's your favorite parent?
that's not fair. That is so not fair. Mila, you're really gonna answer that? Look at her.
Yeah.
She's gonna start crying.
Yeah, look at
again.
it now.
She's
Look at
gonna
it.
be like,
He's like smiling.
Mila, I
Here, Mila,
already
I'll give
know.
you my mic.
Honestly, who's your favorite parent, Mila? It's okay.
Dada.
Not taking anything personal here. We already know, you guys. She is daddy's little girl. If we had Aiden here, he'd be like Mama. He's Mama's boy, so I'm okay for now. But yeah, that's.
What's one thing that you admire about Dada? That's a great question.
He tickles me.
What's one thing you admire about Mama?
You play with me.
Oh, I literally thought she was gonna say you cook for me.
Yeah, that too. So she's like, you make me all the meals.
All the good stuff, huh, Mila? Yeah. What's one thing you love about Aiden?
He plays with me.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and he annoys you too, right?
But she loves him.
So let's see. What advice would you give parents out there that they should do to their kids if they're around your age? What do you think the parents should?
Play with them.
Hey, that is, as much as it may seem silly, that is a big one, you guys, because I'm guilty of being caught up with everyday work that, sometimes the last thing we want to do is play with them. But I think in their world, in their eyes, when you play with them, it's like everything to them, so the fact that she's saying that really says, that's what they're looking for. They don't care about the materialistic stuff,
the vacations,
like none of that. Like sometimes what's more meaningful to them is the playtime, the amount of time you're spending with them, what you're doing with them. So, wow, that was really good, Mila. That was a really good one.
She knew it too right away.
She was like, before I even.
I really want to know this question though, Mila.
Okay.
Like what's one thing that you love about Dad?
Aside from the tickling.
Aside from the tickling.
He watches movies with me.
I think what she really wants to say is that you bond with her.
Yeah.
The fact that you spend time with her. You like it when Daddy spends time with you, huh? Mm-hmm. And then anything else you want to add?
What are you grateful for, Mama?
What are you grateful for? They ask you these type of questions. That's good.
Having you and Dad around.
Oh, my baby. I love you. Oh, I got your lipstick all over.
You want to ask one of the questions from
the thing? Okay, yeah. So go ahead. Let's keep talking while I look for one.
We said, thank you, Mila, for giving us some of your time. You don't get time back. Time is very important. Facts. It's the most beautiful form of showing them love. Mila, you're a great daughter and sister. Beautiful family. Love this testimony of your relationship. Amazing. God bless your family in the future, from San Diego. Hey, let's go. So I'm 55 and I was always my dad's little girl until his last breath 1 year ago. Sorry for your loss, Martha. But yeah, I think, Mila's such a loving, like the other day I was telling Anita, I was like, I took a nap and she was just like, like guarding my cheek, giving me kisses, fixing my blanket. Like she's such a, what do you call it? Like a...
She's so caring,
just super
attentive. Caring. And that's just to show that, sometimes kids are a reflection of their parents, of what they're around with. So, it's important that, okay, mi amor? Why are you crying, princess? She's a Pisces. They're very emotional. Yeah, mi amor. It's okay to be emotional, baby. I love that you're so in tune with your feelings. All right, Mila, this one's going to be a fun one, okay? So your future goals. I'm going to ask you what your dreams are and your aspirations. Something that you aspire to be, to do, like
a dream.
Like a dream, pretty much. So what are your goals when you get older?
To be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what else?
There's something that you always say.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be a doctor.
Doctor? What kind of doctor?
A vet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's one thing that you always tell Mama and Daddy that you want? You always say it.
What is it? Give her a hint.
Um,
She probably says a lot of things.
yeah. Well, if I say it, it's gonna be, I give. But you always talk about like your house. How do you want your house to look like?
A big house and pretty.
What do you want it to have?
Animals.
Animals?
So she actually designed her house, like 2 months ago, a month ago. I came home. I was working, and then I came home, and she was like, "Mommy, look." She's like, "This is the house that I want, that I'm gonna have when I get older." And I look at it, and I'm like, "Wow!" It was very modern, but she had pretty much drawn everything. The backyard. She wanted a pool with a slide. What else did it have? A place.
It's like a grilling area, and it has like 3 TVs where you gotta hang out after the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then
What else did it have? A trampoline.
a trampoline,
A whole bunch of stuff.
a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff. I forgot.
Yeah, so she's I always tell Jose whenever a house pops up, either when we're watching a movie, when she's watching something, an ad comes up, she like screenshots the pictures of the house that she really likes, and she goes, "Mommy, this is the house that I want." And she like saves it onto her gallery, because that's her
Her dream.
yeah. So I'm like, you know what, we got to start doing vision boards, because I think those are like really important. 'Cause she does that without even knowing what a vision board is, but she has them on her gallery.
Yeah, I think it's super important to like also as like, I think for us, we had to overcome even just the obstacle of thinking what was possible. You know?
Right.
Now it's like, so we had to like initially overcome those traumas of like, is this even possible for me? Can I even do it? Will I even be able to afford it? Well, this and that, and there's a lot of obstacles and traumas that we have to overcome. And, now seeing her, like, literally she's like fearless, she's limitless, like she has really big goals and dreams, or at least goals to where we think they were big, right? Coming from where we come from and the life experiences that we come from. So for her, it's just standard. It's just a way of living. It's just like a thing that you do or have, right? It's a common thing, right? Obviously, there's a lot of work and stuff like that that goes on behind, achieving that. But she already has her mind and her goals set on that. As for us, it was always like, shit, even just getting a pair of Nikes, that was already, a big deal. But
Yeah.
it just kind of shows like the whole parenting and
Her reality that she's living now.
And I think as parents, like you always got to see that what you see in your child is a reflection of you. So the things that your children do, the things that they say, how they treat others, all of it is a reflection of you. So for the most part, when kids start acting out, parents are always like, oh, like, this and that, he's so and da da da. But you also got to realize that it's because of you. As a parent, you have the opportunity to spend that time with them, to be able to explain to them situations instead of just yelling at them and trying to instill fear and impose your will onto them because you're the adult, because you're the mom, because you're the dad. Like it doesn't go like that. You have to be able to have a relationship, with your child, not to the point where it's like, oh, we're friends and, she's going to talk to you by your first name, but
Still
to where,
respectful.
yeah, where you still can still build that,
Yeah.
That trust and that communication, because, our children are always going to go through things. And if you don't create that space for them to be able to communicate with you, then they're going to make decisions based on their own judgment instead of saying, hey, I know my mom knows a lot. Hey, I know my dad knows a lot, and he might have a better perspective, so I can make a better decision and a better judgment. Let me go ask my mom. Let me go ask my dad. And for the most part,
Comfortable enough to come to you.
yeah, for the most part, most parents, based on our upbringing and our traumas and our, culture, we try to raise our kids the same way that our parents did, without realizing that that's only going to continue to, feed onto that vicious cycle that we go through for generations and generations, instead of, being able to build your child so that they're better than you. At the end of the day, we're never going to be perfect. Maybe one day when I get older, I'm going to be like, damn, I should have spent more time with them, or maybe I shouldn't have been so focused on work or that. But as of right now, based on my level and awareness, I'm doing the best that I can. And with that in mind, it's like, I know that she's going to be even better than me when she's a parent, when she's a mom. She's going to be able to see all of my flaws and be like, okay, my dad did this really great, but he was kind of slacking here. Let me make sure that I prioritize to being a better version of me in that aspect, right? Instead of, judging and criticizing our parents for what we didn't have or the things that they didn't teach us. Like, hey, let's take our responsibility to as well and understand that we also have a play and a part in terms of like how our children end up. So let's be responsible, take ownership and take leadership to become even better in the areas that we think our parents lacked, right? It's not, oh, I hate my mom because she was this, or, I hate my dad because of this, and that. And like, don't get me wrong, there's situations where, there's still certain things that I still have to overcome as a man, based on the way that my mom raised me and like the things that she would say to me based out of, her own ability to be able to parent me with her own circumstances. But that's more of a me thing, you know what I mean? It's more of an internal thing that now I have to overcome. But at the same time, it's like, I know how my mom speaking to me this way made me feel. Let me not do that with my child. Let me not do that with my daughter. Let me figure out how I can be a better communicator, somebody that's better at explaining. How can I spend a little bit more quality time, give my children a little bit more experiences instead of doing this, instead of doing that. Let me be better, right? It's never going to be perfect. Nobody is, regardless of who it is. It's just about, getting better every single time as we continue to grow and continue to evolve and mature. And, it's a year's game. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Right, Mila?
Do you feel mommy and daddy are doing a great job at parenting you? Yeah?
Hermosa. You love mommy and daddy so much.
Preciosa.
You want to cry again every time we ask.
She's so loved, honestly.
She's
so loved. Like, honestly, I think, that's one of the things that I need to always prioritize. Like, making sure that they know that they're loved, making sure that they know that they matter so much to us, and that everything we do it for them. Whether we're making the best decision possible or not, everything that we do it, with their
best intentions,
well-being, and, the best intentions of making sure that they have a better life, while still, trying to manage the discipline aspect of things, making sure that they know that, things do take a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of years to be able to accomplish. But, for the most part, they don't have the limiting beliefs that we had, as children growing up. And, now they're in a better position, because at the end of the day, the best thing that you can do for your children is set them up to where they can be, in a better position by the time that you're, things are said and done with you, so that whenever they're said and done, their children are in a better position. And, I think for the most part, I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed is that for us as first generation Americans, being, Hispanic, Latinos, we think that we don't have an opportunity, when in reality, whenever our parents came here to the United States, they gave us the best opportunity possible. So now it's our turn, to carry the torch and to go and find our own path, go and find different avenues and different knowledge, so that we can bring back, contribute to the family, and continue to compound, year after year, generation after generation, to where we no longer have, generational trauma, or minimize it, right? Because there's always going to be, in some shape or form, something that's, it's life. Life doesn't let you go, untouched, right? But yeah, I think that's one of the key things as parents. Always try to be better. Always learn how to communicate. I think that's a big factor. And
the biggest factor. Yeah. Learning how to communicate with them. Also, too, like, if you see your child acting out, there's a reason behind it. They may need attention. They may need something that, because kids act out for a reason, So it's really important that we take the time to take a step back and see when a child is acting out. It's either because they need something, they want something. So it's always important, to kind of see, like, what is it, if they're old enough where you're able to communicate, asking them if, they might need attention from you and stuff. So it's just, man, parenting is so hard, you guys. And I think that the older the kids get, the harder it is because, now there's people around them that are influencing them, or, we can't protect them all the time. So, man, like, I'm like scared of, what our kids are going into, like, especially this world we live in now.
And
But
we try to navigate it as best as we can, and like in like so many areas too. It's like
when anything,
in anything, it's not just the quality time with them, but it's also teaching them like discipline and like there's a how I'd say, like a give and take, right? It's like, if one of the things that we're starting to incorporate now, or we want to incorporate, it's like, hey, whenever they want something, whether it's a trip, whether it's a toy or an experience, it's like, okay, what are you gonna get for this, right? So one of the things that we're trying to incorporate, it's like books, right? Because the biggest thing, it's like, the more intelligent that your children are, the more aware, the more that their vision expands, and the more that their intelligence grows, right? And the more that their intelligence grows, the more that their confidence grows, because now it's like, oh wow, it's actually not that complicated. I just got to do this, and this. Awesome, I'll do it. And especially too, if you teach them discipline. And for the most part, people think like discipline is like being strict, being firm. It's like, no, like, show them that it's okay to hold themselves accountable. Show them that it's okay for them to hold themselves to a higher standard, to where it's like, hey, if I say that I'm going to commit to this, let me make sure that I commit to it, that I follow through, that my word matters to me more than anybody else. And I think, for the most part, being Mexican, like, we have these negative connotations towards certain words, where in reality it's a standard, it's a capacity to be able to hold yourself to a standard in which you follow through on what you say you're going to do for yourself, more importantly than to anybody else, right? Whether it's making sure that you exercise, making sure that you read your books, that you do your homework, that you're gonna
responsible.
that you're responsible. If you're gonna go play with your toys, and if mom says, okay, you can go and do that, but when you're done, please clean up, and they go ahead and do it without a parent telling them, like, that's the style of discipline and that we're trying to instill in our children,
And I think a child like that fits anywhere. Como dice mamá, un niño así cabe donde sea, because your kid is going to grow up to, having to be somewhere else, y que sea comedido. That's like huge, so being responsible, being like you said, disciplined, it goes a long way when you're little, when it's like literally the foundation to everything. So.
It's like, even with Aiden, we can be chilling on the weekend watching a movie, and let's say I gotta take out the trash, or we order groceries or whatever. As soon as they hit the door, I'm like, Aiden, vamos por el mandado. And like, he hates like leaving his iPad, or like doing little things like that when we're chilling, but like, he's now like, he knows. So he like, that's like, you tell him like, Papa, vamos a agarrar el mandado, like, for whatever reason, like, he doesn't even trip about it. He just lets go of his iPad, he gets up, he runs with me, holds my hand, brings in the groceries.
The other day, I ordered Instacart. I was at work, so I ordered Instacart because my mom was like, hey, like, we're running low on milk for Aiden. So I'm like, okay, I'm at work, like, I had to do Instacart for her. She's the one that helps me help us watch Aiden when both of us are working. So I ordered Instacart, and she says, the order came, and Aiden was like, oh, mandado. And he, like, immediately, as soon as my mom opened the door, he was carrying the groceries and, loading them in, like, apenas si puede, because they're probably as big as him, but, him dragging them. And my mom was, like, shook, because she's like, wow, like, es bien acomedido. He ran immediately and was, like, helping me bring in the groceries. I'm like, no, it's because, when Jose and we're together, like, he knows that it's his responsibility to take out the trash, to bring in the groceries, and so it's so instilled in him that, when it happened to my mom, he was like,
he gets excited. And also too, like, I think when you do it so consistently, it doesn't even feel like a chore for them. It's just something that is just normal and should be done, and and that's like one of the things that we kind of struggle with right now. It's like being like disciplined in certain areas of our life, which is something that we were talking about earlier, but we want to get it to the point where it's like, hey, your health is part of your life, where it's not like, oh damn, like, I gotta go and work out. It's like, no, like, let it be a part of your life, like let that be a normal thing, like, why does it have to be such a negative thing, or a chore, or a hassle to go and work out, to go and get your fitness on and eat better and, have all these things. It's like, no, let's make that a standard. Let's make that to where our kids know that, hey, if I make these decisions, it's going to lead me to this. If I make these decisions, it's going to give me this result. Even with food, it's like, sometimes we think, oh, they're kids, let them have this, let them have candy, let them have that. But in reality, like, one of the biggest killers of people is sugar, and we think that there's a correlation between kids and sugar, and, being a kid means that you should be having sugar, and that's not the case. Like, you're actually hurting them. So little things like that we're trying to become better at. Obviously, we're barely becoming aware to these normal things, I guess, if you will. In terms of like parenting, because obviously we weren't raised that way with food,
we were allowed to eat not whatever, but it was more, especially like being Mexican Latinos, it's a lot of carbs. We don't know how to proportion our food, like high protein, not so much carbs, vegetables, all of that. So it's hard to, even for us, like it's a hard transition for both of us to like deal with all this new parenting. And it's just, I was telling him, like, it's so much, that we're learning, but at the same time, I love it. I love being able to improve myself as a mom, as a wife, as a daughter, as just an individual, because
it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing, and it transfers on to our kids. So it's so important that you're investing in yourself, that you're growing, because you're bringing up your babies, and then those babies are going out into the real world, and we need more compassionate, more loving and caring people out there, and so it all starts from home. It's important we take the time to work on ourselves, to transfer that onto the kids, to just make a better world.
And it doesn't have, here's the thing. Like, I think for the most part, as parents, like, obviously money is important, right? It's something that we always going to have. We're always trying to have financial stability to be able to give our children what we didn't have, and experiences that, we wish we had. But at the end of the day, it's like that quality time and speaking to them in a way where it's like, hey, I see you. We're equal. You're not less than me. Like, that's empowering to them, and those are the characteristics that I want her to have with her kids. So where it's like, it's not about the money. It's not about, the things that we have or none of that. Obviously, we work hard to have money to be able to give experiences that we want to enjoy as a family. But the foundation of it all is just the mind, like what characteristics we instill in our children. And it's a big reason why we want to have this, show or live stream, whatever you want to call it, because I think for the most part, it's like, it's about breaking past the limiting beliefs that we had growing up, or the things that we were taught growing up. Like, it's time for us to break past those, and those things are what's going to give us the capacity to be able to leave our children in a better position, if not put them in a position where they can win, regardless of anything, regardless of our financial situation, regardless of where we live, what community we're in. If we're able to feed their soul and feed their mind, that's going to already change them for the better, because their vision and their ability to be able to see the good things out of life is what's going to give them that freedom and that capacity to be able to, be a good human being in this world, right? Especially how things are going right now. It's a lot of, society and cultural things that I don't want my daughter to be, doing some of the things that I see right now on social media, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, I have to be strong enough to be able to communicate to my daughter to where it's like, hey, just because millions of people are doing this, that doesn't mean that you need to do that, right? And it goes back to like even the way that we speak, the things that we do. If you like to drink, or if you like to go out clubbing, or you have this expectation of what a man should or shouldn't do based on your empowerment, both as a male and as a female, like, you have the capacity to step firm and stand for what you believe in. It doesn't mean that you're going to be a bad person and you're going to judge and criticize everybody for not agreeing with you. But if you're passionate and you stand for something, stand for that, regardless of what society is doing. You know what I mean? Society is always going to do what mainstream media and all that things is cool, and, how people speak and how parenting should be, or this and that. But at the end of the day, the whole involvement should be at home. What you teach your kids at home should carry more weight than, what the world and TV and social media tries to tell them should be the standard for what, normal is,
Yeah.
And I
No, I
think,
agree
yeah, I think one of the things that I want to touch on is like as we're talking to this, I think, you know, we should just go into like the male and
100%.
female.
Talk your Jose.
You're such a, I appreciate it. You know, and it's funny because I was always very scared and very timid to like share my mind. You know, I'm a very, I don't want to say I'm an introverted person, but I'm very selective with the people that I decide to open up with, because I think the things that I like to talk about and the things that I like to speak is boring to other people, right? I love personal development. I love growth. And for the most part, people can't have these conversations, right? This is exactly the reason why Anita and I want to have this show, because it's like we'll go on conversations and just really go deep.
Go
and
deep.
yeah, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, especially right now, I think one of our favorite topics, and it's a trending topic right now, is to like, you know, femininity and masculinity, right? You know, we were talking about how, you know, some girls are
Ooh,
are
touchy
yeah,
subject right now.
some girls are very toxic, but they hide and they protect themselves under being feminine and trying to feel empowered, when in reality they're just toxic individuals hiding in a word that they know they can't pierce, or, you know, try and come after them, because then it makes you a toxic masculine guy, right? When in reality, same, and vice versa, right? As a male too, it's like you can be a masculine man and still be, you know, respectful and honoring a woman and opening the door for them and stuff like that. But there's also toxic men that are masculine, but then people think that it's like, oh, or masculinity is toxic in general. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity or toxic femininity. It's just toxic people hiding under those umbrellas. You know what I mean?
Ooh, mic drop. That's huge. So very well said. Damn, babe, that was a good one.
Yeah, it's such a I think it's a very beautiful topic to speak about, but only if you have the capacity to like not be triggered by somebody not necessarily agreeing with your opinion. I think this is the beautiful thing about this too. It's like we don't want everybody to agree with us, you know? Like we're going to say things that you might not agree with, and that's completely okay. There's going to be things that you say that I might not 100% agree with, but I like to have my thoughts and my perspective challenged, because that's going to help me grow as an individual, as a person, as a dad, as an entrepreneur, as a husband, like all these things, right? And for the most part, people can't sit with themselves and
Yeah.
realize that there is more out there. There's different perspectives, there's different people, there's different ways of living life that are completely okay, and we can take from that, leave the bad, take the good, and continue to grow and expand our mind and our capacity to be able to be better individuals. You know what I mean? And for the most part, a lot of people can't stand that. You know, if I tell you, you know, Mila's shoes are blue and you think they're pink, and because I'm saying blue that makes me a bad individual, then that shows more about you than it does about me. You know what I mean?
Yep. Look at it, but Roxy says it's cognitive dissonance.
Where is it?
Dissonance. Roxy?
Cognitive dissonance. As a man should take advice from you. You're not scared to be a man, and you're not scared to say the truth. You have your own podcast with Spotify eventually.
Eventually. Mila, what animal would you like to have as a pet?
Bunny.
Let's speak into it. Oh, no, well, Daddy was holding it for you.
I would like a bunny. Because they're my favorite animals and they're so cute. Even my profile at school is a bunny. And I love bunnies so much. They're so cute and fluffy. Especially baby bunnies.
What's like one animal that, you know, you like that most people would get scared of?
Probably a tiger.
A tiger? You would want to have a pet tiger? Yeah.
And a snake. I'm
Yeah.
like, she says, Mommy, when I get bigger, I'm going to have a snake. When I get my own place, I'm going to have a snake. And I said, okay, remind me that, to remind you that every time I go, you put it away. 'Cause
In the room.
Ugh, I cannot. So Mila actually loves roller coasters, you guys. And
Last time at Disneyland, I wanted to go to the credit coaster.
why do you like roller coasters, Princess?
Because they're really fun for me. And I like because sometimes when I go on the roller coasters, my stomach flips, and that makes me laugh a lot.
You like challenges, huh, Mila?
Yeah.
What do you think you like challenges?
I don't know.
You don't know?
So she had told me that the reason why she likes roller coasters is because one of her biggest fears was to get on roller coasters. So she got on a roller coaster, and then she overcame her fear and now loves roller coasters and now wants to get on the biggest roller coasters. For me, I hate roller coasters. I hate heights. Like, I'm just terrified of heights. So whenever she does go on these roller coasters, you guys, my mommy in me is like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting in the roller coaster. My hand starts getting sweaty, like my heart's racing just for her. And then she gets off the roller coaster and she just had the time of her life. And I'm like, girl, so
It's like I just got off of a playground.
so it's really cool.
Challenge yourself, huh?
Yeah, so it's cool that what did you say one time, Mila? That Daddy told you fear is what?
It's all mental. It's fear isn't real. It's just mental.
Exactly.
How does that allow you to, like, push past, like, your limiting beliefs?
I keep remember it and I say that it's not true. So what I do is I face it and then I do it.
And what does facing do to you?
It makes me proud.
Makes you proud of yourself?
Build that confidence.
It makes me proud of myself a lot.
Oh, I love that.
Does that give you, like, the freedom to be like, I can do anything?
Yes.
Now, how does knowing that you have the capacity to do anything that you set your mind to, how does that make you feel?
Happy.
Why?
Because I know I could do anything I want now on roller coasters. I can go on any one I want.
And in life too, right?
Mm.
You said you wanted to be in the gymnastics, right? Olympics.
I want to do this little thing. They're called silks, and you you roll up into them, and like from like up there, and you just fall down like that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's fearless.
Yeah, guys. But I think that's a wrap, right? Yeah. So thank you guys, all of you guys who tuned in, who stayed throughout the whole live. We really appreciate you. I know a lot of you guys have lives, you guys getting out of work and getting back to your routines. But those of you guys that stayed and watched the whole thing, we really appreciate you. We love you guys.
Thank you so much.
We hope that this was something you guys got something good out of it. And yeah, Mila, do you want to say something to the jammers?
I want to show you guys how I could do the bridge.
Okay. So Mila's going to show you guys how to do the bridge. Can they see her there?
Yeah.
I think you got to go a little bit this way. Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go. Wow. That's a walking bridge. Oh my gosh, Mila.
She loves to challenge herself.
Yeah. There you. Oh, yeah, you guys can't see her.
Can't see
She's
her, but
literally
she's
doing the splits, you guys. She's so good.
All right, guys. So we're going to check out. I'm going to go see my mama because I have a flight tomorrow morning. So I want to make sure that I see her before I head out. But thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
Stay tuned for next week's episode. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Let me cut this.